Hi guys, welcome to the video. We're going to be going over the Fury Warrior challenge, and this is going to be a guide, but it's not going to be your usual guide going through, strats and stuff like that. This will be a full playthrough of the fight and sort of how I dealt with certain situations, and it just shows you the fight in its entirety and my sort of thought process for the fight and during the fight. This is a very long fight and it can take a while, so there's no need to rush the fight at all. It can take as long as you want. Just make sure that you are staying constant, or you're concentrating throughout the entire thing. So obviously you start off against the mother. Again, it's very easy. She'll immediately summon these. You just pop Blade Storm, and my trinket is the Emerald Nightmare trinket, just to deal with these, get some initial damage out on Agatha, yeah, as quickly as possible. The imp spawn, you can leap over, slow them, and do as much damage as you can. As soon as these fuming imps spawn, what you want to do is prioritize them as they leave a puddle on the ground. So this one I'll generally just kill quite far away, because if they do explode, you just don't want the puddle anywhere near where Agatha is in this middle sort of section. So she'll just keep hitting that, she'll just keep doing damage, and then she'll summon more and more imps when she gets to 100 mana, I believe. She'll put a shield up as well. Yep. So the Dark Fury isn't going to kill you. You really want to prioritize adds on this fight and just do as much damage as you can. Obviously, the Shattering Throw will destroy the shield. She'll summon imps, but this is perfect because your Blade Storm comes off cooldown every minute and she summons imps every minute. This is the same with the trinket. The Emerald Nightmare trinket is a minute cooldown, so you want to use that as often as it's up, or when she summons the imps. It is very much about managing the fight and managing the adds. You want to prioritize adds so much quicker. The fuming imps, as soon as they spawn, that's what you want to hit. They are the very first target that you want to hit. And it's during the downtime, obviously, you just do as much damage to her as you can. The shield isn't a priority. The cast will not hurt you a lot. As you can see, it's doing 150, like 9. It slowly goes up. It does like 20 more damage every time. But as a Fury Warrior, you can keep your Impending Victory spell on cooldown, and it really doesn't do a lot of damage. You've got to get to about 50 stacks for it to, really start to slap. The imps, however, do stack up their damage increase quite quickly, so you want to prioritize the imps quicker. But I targeted the shield here, mainly because the imp was quite far away, and I needed to get some shield damage in order to eventually break the Dark Fury cast, because it was going to start hurting very soon. So, again, more imps just spawn. You want to leap over, DPS them as much as possible, and you want them to die as quickly as possible so that you get a lot of uptime on Agatha. And you can see I'm pulling this fuming imp just to the side, just in case it explodes. The imp servant, you can kick them if you want, doesn't really matter, because the Dark Fury again doesn't really hurt. And even if they get their channel off for 5 or so seconds, it's not the end of the world. You can easily catch up on that damage. Like I said, it's a very long fight, so don't be panicked if an imp is channeling for too long or something like that. Imps just spawn, Blade Storm, nice and easy, trinket. They go down with ease, to be honest. There will always be casters in there, and I believe she spawns 1 to 2 fuming imps. So you really want to target the fuming imps in the multiple imps that she spawns. She casts a lot of these Dark Furies. That's what kind of takes so long in the fight, because she's constantly getting a small shield every now and again, and you've got to punch through that to get to her health. It's not that big of a deal. The buff that you can see on her right now, the 11 stacks, is how many waves of imps she's summoned, and this is a non-factor in the fight. This can go up to about 50 stacks and she'll be hitting you for nothing. If you can see the damage that I take here, 106, it increases by 2% each time, so it's next to nothing. Again, she summons the imps, You want to DPS the imps as quickly as possible. 2 of the imps will be giving her a shield. So as long as they die, you can cleave the boss as well. And I let this channel go through, I believe. Well, I don't have a choice because I didn't have pummel. I pummeled the first one. But it doesn't really matter because look, it's no damage and no healing at all done to Agatha. This Plague Zone, you ideally want Rampage to kill the fuming imps very quickly. Rampage is a very good one for it. Or you want to save up your Bloodthirst and your... I forget what this is called. I've never played Fury Warrior before this. Your other main ability, I'll say that. But Rampage is the best for that. You can just hit them with Rampage, execute, and then carry back on the main boss. And this is just a very rinse and repeat phase. She'll keep summoning the imps there. It will always be there. And you drop the trinket, Blade Storm, nice and easy. You're good to go. Again, this one keeps the shield up on Agatha, so you just kill it. I get about 30% here. It doesn't really matter. Your impending victory will be enough healing here. And when she gets to 50%, she'll teleport to the top here, to the top of the ramp. And you want to transition this quite well. You don't want her to spawn imps at that time. There's the imp. There's the new imp spawn location. So just be aware of that. And these boulders will start rolling down. They will be the things to kill you. They will be the things to kill you. If you get hit by one of them, your run might be over, to be honest. Because you might get unlucky with the imp spawning at a certain time and stuff like that. So you just want to keep facing this way, just dodge the boulders and you are good. It's very much rinse and repeat apart from you got boulders this time. That's it. For the rest of the fight you have boulders. She summons imps. Again, drop the trinket down. Blade Storm is a very simple process of killing them imps. They aren't tanky at all. The Fuming Imp, I just fear him because I don't want the zone there. I don't want any sort of zone. I want to keep the boss room encounter very clean. These ones are quite easy to deal with because you can just piercing howl them, leap over, piercing howl, and you should kill them before they even get to the boss, or just start channeling. It's not too big of a deal. And again, you just prioritize Agatha when you can. Now, ideally, you should pop Relentless with your Blade Storm, but I was finding it quite tough to get my Relentless back just in time to pop with my Blade Storm. So I'm keeping it here for the next imp wave, which will be very soon, which will be within the next 5 seconds when Blade Storm comes off cooldown. So you can use that as a good timer, your Blade Storm and your trinket. There you go, Blade Storm came off cooldown, she summons imps. It's that simple, pretty much. You want to prioritize these imps as well, or at least one of them. You don't want both of them channeling for too long, because that will be that little bit extra health and it's just not fun. I just left this imp up a little bit longer because I wanted to make sure I didn't get hit by boulders. The Fuming Imp obviously is the main target. Dark Fury again doesn't do anything in terms of damage. When you get her to like this sort of HP, she will teleport to the other end, and again, just make sure that you're facing the boulders. You don't want the boulders hitting you at all. They will not come from this side. They will always come from the same side as before. She still summons imps. These imps are a lot further away, so you've got a lot more time to hit these imps. So don't rush, but just make sure that they are dealt with. This Fuming Imp almost got the cast off. That would have been an awful place for it to explode. Drop the trinket, Blade Storm, all comes off cooldown at the same time, and it's really nice to have that cleave. And you want to do it ideally as quickly as possible. When she summons the imps, you want to cleave them down as quickly as possible because because they will teleport around, and usually when they spawn they're all in like the same place, so it's a lot easier to cleave them down when they're all in the same place compared to spreading out after they've teleported. As soon as you see the kill the imps, you leap over, piercing howl, and just start whacking away at them. Nice and easy. They shouldn't get even close to her really. See, nice and easy. Didn't even start channeling. She will teleport back for the last time, I believe. She won't do any more teleports, and this is around this sort of percent, 25 to 30, depending on how many shields you broke, how quickly you killed the other imps and stuff like that. Spawn the imps, trinket down, blade storm. Very simple, very, very simple. It's always going to be off cooldown your blade storm, and this trinket is just, you know, double downing on that AoE damage that you have. Plus the leech from the trinket is very useful. I would highly recommend it. You get it from Emerald Nightmare from the first boss. Very, very good. Again, the imps, I didn't necessarily see these ones spawn, or I can... yeah, I probably just wasn't paying attention at that point. See, you can get away with a lot of stuff even if you're not paying attention. These ones I feared because I didn't want both of them casting, so I could cleave one down quick enough to get to the other one without both of them casting at the same time. I'm going to pause it here quick. So as you can see, this boulder's just dropped, but you can see here, this is the puddle that the imps leave behind. It does a lot of damage, it slows you, it's not fun. Do not let that happen anywhere sort of here, because it is very bad. If it happens here, it's sort of a non-factor, because you're never going to be really running around here. But if it happens slap bang in the middle, it can cause you problems, so definitely don't let that happen. Obviously, be mindful of the stuff that's spawning on the ground. It will hurt, but it's not going to kill you. So she does teleport. I lied about that. I think she keeps doing it after a certain percent, but again, don't really matter. I got hit by a boulder here, which really wasn't good. I tried to get my blade storm off before the boulder so that the boulder didn't stun me. But again, I've really messed up here, and it hasn't cost me the run at all. The frames drop there because there's so much happening on the screen, that's all. The imp servants, obviously, if they cast, it doesn't really matter. They healed her for 3%. You can easily get that 3% back. Especially in the execute phase, you can do a lot more because the execute in Fury gives you rage to use on rampages and stuff like that. So you can go a bit more crazy with your damage in this instance with your rampages and stuff like that. And your Relentless will come off cooldown a lot quicker in this regard. So you will have Relentless for every Blade Storm, guaranteed, almost. And that's the fight. It's very much ads orientated. You want to focus the ads as much as you can. You want to kill them off as quickly as possible. The boss is very much the secondary target here. You don't want anything to do with the ads at all. The ads are highest priority by far. It'll be the fuming ads, and then it'll be the caster ads, then the healing ads. It's always in that order. For me, it was anyway. You might prioritize the healing ads over the caster ads, but I feel like the caster ads are going to be a lot more scary in that regard. Now, if you are in here, I was a bit confused at the end, but if you're stuck in here, you can just right-click the eye in the top right, and you can leave group or teleport out of the instance or whatever, it doesn't matter. So I used a couple of Legion legendaries and the trinket, the Emerald Nightmare trinket. I also used Shadowmourne, the legendary axe from Wrath of the Lich King, mainly because I had it in the bank and I thought it would be cool to actually use that item. You can do this with any gear. This challenge you can do with any gear and without consumables, I think, very easily. It's just, I didn't necessarily, after doing a Guardian Druid tanking Mage Tower multiple times, I didn't necessarily want to be stuck on anything for too long because I wanted to get that soaring spell time. But I believe that you can definitely do this without consumes very easily and with full Shadowlands gear really easily, I think. It's very much just managing your ads and knowing what's coming when. Like, you know, every minute you have Blade Storm and your trinket for the multiple imps that she'll spawn. You know that because it's every minute that she spawns them, and that is your Blade time or Blade Storm cooldown. She'll spawn the healing ads every 30 seconds or 45 seconds because that's your heroic leap. And yeah, it's very simple. It's very, very simple, but it's just very much a longer fight than most of the Mage Tower ones. So you've just got to keep your concentration up a lot more so in that regard. But thank you all very much for watching. Good luck with the Mage Tower and take care all. Peace.